For thousands of years, civilizations have cultivated cannabis sativa for medicinal, industrial, spiritual, and recreational purposes. But this humble-looking plant is at the heart of a fiery drugs debate that rages across the USA. Hemp has been illegal since 1937, largely because of the health risks associated with its consumption. Dr. Ann Evans from Harvard Medical School has promoted research showing cannabis can cause anxiety, memory and respiratory problems, and fatigue, while it has also been linked to psychological disorders like depression and schizophrenia.
Those who had started using marijuana had worsened executive function.
But pro-pot activists believe that these findings don't justify criminalization. Today's supporters are heavily influenced by the work of Jack Herer, also known as the Hemperor. In 1985, Herer published a book which, according to his followers, exposes the real reason why weed is illegal. Before hemp was prohibited, it was grown commercially in the United States for books, oils, medicines, paints, and hundreds of other products. And according to Herer's book, in the mid-1930s a new hemp fiber machine came onto the market, which made hemp paper more affordable and efficient to produce. Newspaper mogul William Randolph Hearst had big investments in the timber industry and paper manufacturing at the time, and worried that faster and cheaper hemp production would threaten his timber industry, causing him to lose millions. Meanwhile, the chemical company DuPont had just launched a new process of paper manufacturing from wood pulp, but hemp paper was low cost and high quality. Both fearing bankruptcy, DuPont and Hearst teamed up to stop the hemp revolution. Using his media prowess, Hearst slandered marijuana in his papers with sensationalized horror stories about the drug. Scaremongering films like Reefer Madness and The Devil's Weed soon followed. According to Herer, DuPont had links to the US government thanks to their chief financial banker Andrew Mellon, who was also Secretary of the US Treasury. Then in April 1937, the Marijuana Tax Act was passed, which just so happened to be written by Andrew Mellon's nephew. This new bill made the possession of the cannabis sativa plant illegal under federal law by imposing an excise tax on every sale. Meanwhile, the American Medical Association didn't even realize until after the law had been passed that hemp, that useful and versatile product, was the same plant as marijuana. If Jack Herer's claims are true, then that means the real reason marijuana is illegal today is because of brutal capitalist self-interest. But since its publication, several falsehoods in Herer's book have been discovered, shedding doubt on the theory altogether. Researchers have found out that Andrew Mellon in fact had no financial connection with the company DuPont, and many academics have actually linked the criminalization of cannabis to racial oppression, since the law was used to unfairly imprison Mexicans and African Americans. Whether or not Herer's story is entirely true, what is interesting are the similarities between his theory and the latest events in marijuana reform. Anti-pot groups like Citizens Against Legalizing Marijuana still argue there are potential health risks from weed consumption, and so it should be prohibited. In 2014, it was discovered that the leading anti-marijuana researchers are being paid by pharmaceutical firms. This is because medical marijuana is increasingly being used for pain relief, as a substitute for major painkillers like OxyContin and Nurofen. And companies like Pfizer and Reckitt Benckiser are worried that the burgeoning cannabis industry will make them lose money. Since 2012, 4 states have decriminalized cannabis, and you can now legally grow, sell, and possess the plant. 23 states have enacted laws to legalize medical marijuana, to help treat people suffering from cancer, multiple sclerosis, AIDS, and other conditions. More people than ever are in support of legalizing the drug. Like the hemp industry before it, legal marijuana sets to revolutionize the marketplace, and poses a very real threat to big US business. The debate over whether it should be made legal still rages.